The highest we can climb up this league table is 9th place, but to be honest with you guys, I'll take 9th place right now. Like, we've been stuck in purgatory. We've been stuck in 10th place for so long with no movement at all with our league position, that if we can get the win before international break, we climb up ahead of Fulham. And then when you reassess the league table, then you start to notice that we're only 8 points behind Spurs, who are currently 4th place. Now, I don't want to be getting too carried away. There's still plenty of games in advance. And of course, once we come back from international break, many difficult games on the horizon. So I think that Graham Potter currently is dishing out the right advice. Let's keep our mindset on the present right now. And let's hope that Everton gift us those 3 points tomorrow. Now, ever since Everton let Frank Lampard go, they probably made the right decision, to be fair with. They appointed Sean Dyche, and we all know Sean Dyche and his Burnley team in the Premier League. Of course, they're known for their resilience, their attitude, their work rate. And these are the qualities that Sean Dyche has now brought to this Everton team. Now they've become a 4-5-1 team. They have a strong midfield in Onana, Doucouré, and Idrissa Gueye as well. And this simpler way of playing makes Everton more effective at this point in time. I mean, they picked up some impressive results against Leeds United, against Arsenal originally, and last week against high-flying Brentford, but they've also picked up some pretty poor results in between them as well. However, the key thing to beating any Sean Dyche team is to make sure you're controlling the game with the leads, because the longer games are going scoreless against Sean Dyche teams, the stronger and more powerful his teams seem to get. And I think his new Everton team really reflects his values quite well right now. I mean, looking at them, they're strong, they're tall, they have pace on the counter-attack now with Demarai Gray acting as a striker, McNeil and Iwobi playing in the wide areas. If we want to get a win against them, we need to focus, we need to be present, we need to make sure we're not allowing for any errors. And if we do those things, we can take the lead. And once we take the lead, this Everton team has the potential to implode mentally as the game goes on. So my friends, in today's match preview, I'm going to go through team news. I'm going to go through 3 key talking points from Porter's press conference. Of course, I'm going to give my predicted lineup, and I'll end things by giving my prediction too. So I hope you guys enjoy. It's been a massive day of content on BlueLionsTV. Catch my 5 things we learned video in today's draw versus Real Madrid, and I hope you guys enjoy and hit that like button without wasting any more time. So let's start things off and let's discuss team news. We learned today from Potter that Raheem Sterling won't be taking any part in tomorrow's game. He's still carrying a slight hamstring injury, so I guess we'll see him soon after international break. We learned that Mason Mount is still carrying an injury himself, and the injury is so severe that he had to omit himself from the England squad after, of course, the call-ups were made today. So that's very unfortunate for Mason Mount. Of course, the injury list doesn't end there. Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta, both still out, but we have some positive news to end on, and that's around N'Golo Kante. We learned today that he has a chance of being back in the squad for the game tomorrow against Everton, so that is massive news. I'm kind of already hoping that, does this potentially mean that he might make an appearance off the bench? Honestly, I'd love to see Kante getting a few minutes at least before international break. So right now, let's discuss the 3 key talking points from Porter's press conference. And to start with things, obviously, we have to hear what our manager said about today's Champions League draw against Real Madrid. And as Porter said, you know, there's a lot of excitement amongst the group and himself right now, but he wants to focus only on our game tomorrow against Everton. And I think this game-by-game approach right now, this new mentality shift is absolutely key. And I feel like Porter's using his press conferences to reinforce and re-emphasize that mindset that everyone needs to have right now. Don't be getting excited for Real Madrid. Focus on beating Everton first, because, you know, we have struggled against these teams throughout the season. Now we discuss form improvements, and Graham Potter reveals that, of course, luck has naturally played a part. And I think as fans, we can attest to that. Like, how many times have guys like Bellingham or others made terrible misses at key times? Of course, the post to save us as well. Kepa's been in heroic form, which is very helpful. And normally when you're coming out these periods where you've been riding the storm for a really, really long time, you know, you do need a bit of luck on the horizon to get you through. And listen, we're no different. That's how the rules work in football. And to end things, of course, he revealed that 3-4-3 has been helpful, and it's been helpful after they reviewed multiple performances to try and find what the best balance is for this current group of players. And he decided that 3 at the back makes more sense. Of course, Porter's stressed how important our defensive record's been this season, and if that's one of your best qualities, turn towards that and then start your rebuild slowly because results are still important. So my friends, before we end things now, let's hear Graham Potter's words on N'Golo Kante. Now, Potter mentioned that multiple managers prior have been praising Kante lavishly for very good reason. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal to work with. And Potter reveals that Kante obviously has been a big miss, but it's about being mindful of his injuries to get him ready to start playing games again. And this is so key because when we come back from international break, we have games versus Arsenal, I think Man City, Newcastle, Real Madrid. We have massive games. And knowing that N'Golo Kante could be back helping us in those matches, that can transform how the season ends. So, yep, let's hope that Kante just comes back at the best optimum time. And right now, my friends, let's discuss tomorrow's predicted lineup that I think Graham Potter might pick. So let's start with the formation. And I've gone for a 3-4-3 naturally. And I'm hoping that this will be the formation we stick with until the season ends, unless Graham Potter has any future tactical surprises in store for us in the future. But I think right now, the balance in terms of our positioning as a team, defending, attacking, making the attacking game easier by us counter-attacking, simplifying things even more. This is a good foundation for us to grow from, and the fact that we picked up 3 big wins recently tells you just how well this team is suited to this current formation at this point in time though. So right now, as you guys can see on screen beside me, this is my predicted lineup. In goal, I've gone for Kepa Arrizabalaga, and it's great that Kepa's in top form. I've done videos on him, the stats are supporting how great his season's been, and he seems to have really just come back from that terrible season he had a few years back, which is great to see because he's been very vital for us. Moving into defence. Now, I've gone for Cucurella, Koulibaly and Fofana. I would not be surprised if I saw Badiashile playing alongside Koulibaly and Fofana, because I thought these guys are really impressive, and who knows if the game plan could be for Badiashile, of course, to come out, play out from the back a bit and find them passing angles. But to be fair with you, it's not like Cucurella can't do the same thing. He's come back in great form right now, and maybe when players are in form like this, you keep them in the team, but who knows? It's been like a week's break between our last win against Leicester City and the game tomorrow, and who knows who's impressed Potter more during training sessions, Badiashile and Cucurella. So, I'm going to go for Cucurella for now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Badiashile was to get mins. So now let's move into the wing backs and midfield. Obviously, I've gone for Reece James and Ben. Now, Reece James could be touch and go for tomorrow, but for the sake of this video, obviously I'm going for my strongest players, and Reece James tends to have pretty decent games against Everton, and I want my top players available in these games. Of course, Ben is probably in even better form compared to Reece. Of course, a goal and an assist in his past 2 games. Whenever he gets in the final third, you just feel like he can make something happen. And one thing I've loved about this guy's game is the accuracy from his deliveries. I mean, the first time crosses, a range of crossing techniques, lofted ones, crosses to the far near post, far post, low driven ones. I mean, he's had a real threat. And the goal he scored against Leicester City, one of our goals of the season, absolutely technically exquisite. And Ben right now is in incredible form. Of course, in midfield, it has to be Enzo and it has to be Kovacic. I've loved the balance from these two. It's nice seeing Kova back in top form. I wish he was more consistent, but there's no point discussing that. Let's focus on the positive things around what he's doing right now. I think in terms of being that partner alongside Enzo, it has been working. I feel like Kova's game makes more sense when he's allowed to break away from our own half. I've always said that his best playmaking comes from our own half compared to playmaking in the final third. And I think if you're going to release attackers who are making runs and behinds, you want a Mateo Kovacic who's able to help you beat the press out from the back, then is able to play, nice accurate passes to find your forwards. And obviously with Enzo Fernandez, I cannot wait for this guy to play, because as I keep saying, it still feels so surreal that we actually secured and signed him. And his game against Leicester, this is the reason why I was so desperate for us to be able to get this guy signed, because look at how he absolutely ran the field and control things, and it seems like he's getting better and better and better. So if we can get one more Enzo masterclass before international break, then I'm going to be a very happy guy. And up front, I've gone for Felix on the left, Kai Havertz on the right hand side, and MUDRYK up front. Now I'm going for MUDRYK because, of course, as we've seen in the past 2 games, Sterling playing up front, MUDRYK doing the same thing against Leicester City. It's obvious that Potter wants there to be like a profile that has pace and behind, that can stretch defenses, that can play off the shoulder as well too. And by having like a real pacey figure, that actually creates a bit of separation between the opposition's defensive line and your midfield line, because of course, how many defenders can keep up with MUDRYK? I mean, not many guys can. So I'm really looking forward to seeing MUDRYK doing something. He's so unlucky against Leicester not to get a goal and an assist. I think that if we secure that, then his entire performance gets recontextualized. So let's hope he gets a goal and an assist. And obviously Felix, listen, one promising thing is he finds himself in great positions. The negative is the finishing quality hasn't been good. Let's hope this guy isn't going to be post boy and hit the post again in consecutive games, not before international break, please. And I hope that Felix can get a goal to get his confidence up even more, because I kind of feel like, you know, there's a lot more to come from Felix, and I'm excited to see how he develops. And obviously Kai Havertz, Kai speaks for himself, man. I mean, come on, playing in his best role on the right hand side. I've spoken about him all week. The guy looks phenomenal there, and it's like we're finally seeing the real Kai Havertz. So let's hope Kai can also get consecutive goals in consecutive games, because he doesn't do that here very often. So that's my predicted lineup out of the way. So now to end things, I'm going to give my prediction, and I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. I am feeling ambitious. I feel like with the new mentality shift in the team, you know, the positivity, the confidence with the boys right now, I feel like playing in front of the fans is really going to boost the mentality of these guys even more, and they're going to play with top confidence. And I feel like we tend to play quite decent at home against Everton, and if we control the game, if we can take the lead, I think Everton may slowly crumble and crumble and crumble as the game goes on. And I'm hoping I see goals from Kai Havertz, hopefully Joao Felix as well too, maybe an assist for MUDRYK and others. And yeah, I'm optimistic that we're going to see a decent game from us before international break. So there, my friends, that is the end of today's match preview. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button, get involved in the comments, and check out all the latest videos I dropped today. I'm Nini FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.